I have an impeccable record. I have not broken any criminal law in this country, and I have not been, as a leader, I have not faced any leadership tribunal at any one time during the course of my leadership in this country. So by virtue of that, I am classified as an eminent person, and I come to tell the Papua New Guinea as an eminent person of this country that which I've come to make a comment is the issue of the David Manning, the Commissioner for Papua New Guinea Police Force, whose statement is being issued by Courier on today's paper, the Monday, the 1st of November 2021. He's saying that all the protests in Papua New Guinea, protests against the vaccination of vaccine for coronavirus in this country is illegal. He says it's illegal. And then he's supported by the government of this country, Jamès Marape and his team, supporting David Manning, the commissioner. And I feel, as a lawyer who is more conversant with the constitutional law of this country, I feel that his statement is not right. Of course, there is an act of parliament which is called Law and Order, Peace and Good Order Act of 1991, passed by Parliament in 1991, under Section 10 of that law gives power to the police to stop any demonstration or any plan to host the demonstration. But if the police commissioner feels or suspects that there's going to be some troubles, the police commissioner arbitrarily stops the protest or attempt protest. And so by virtue of that law, commissioner is saying those things. But I want to make it very clear that that law which gives the commissioner arbitrary power to stop Papua New Guinea citizens to protest for whatever reasons they want to protest, that particular law is a draconian law. I would describe it as a draconian law. Because in South Africa, the minority ruled the nation. The white minority ruled the 300 million population of South Africa. They ruled them. And they make all sorts of law, such as this Peace and Good Order Act, to stop any citizens of South Africa if they wanted to set up a protest, or if they police suspect that they want to commit any offenses, then the law empowered them. This kind of law empowered them to stop any protests by the black community. That's what they did. And what this law is like some of those laws in the which was passed by the minority government of South Africa, the minority white government of South Africa. All right, and that particular kind of law, that kind of thinking has been employed into Papua New Guinea law under this particular act, which they can do anything to any citizen or anything they like. All right. And now they passed Parliament has passed another law called a Pandemic Act. Pandemic Act of 2020, when the disease of coronavirus 19 has reached the source of our country and affected the population of our country. Then they passed this Pandemic Act to give full power to the Commissioner of the Police as a controller to act in a way he sees fit. So when you look at Section 9 of this particular act, the Commissioner's got all power to do all sorts of things, given all sorts of, for instance, issue any direction, impose any message, all of those things under Section 9, without any regard for the constitutional rights of any citizen of this country, and that's these constitutional rights like freedom of expression under Section 46 and freedom of assembly under Section 47 and the right of privacy under Section 49. The citizen of this country has that right. It's a constitutional right. It's a supreme right that is guaranteed to them under the Papua New Guinea Constitution. But now under the Pandemic Act of 2020, and the what's his name, the Peace and Good Order Act of 1991, give the power to the police commissioner to do what he wants. And I can say that there's these two laws, Pandemic Act and the Peace and Good Order Act of 1991, breach, in my humble view, breach Section 46 of the Papua New Guinea Constitution, and which gives the freedom of expression of any citizen in this country. If there's the government, whoever is doing something which they don't agree, they have a right under Section 46 to express that what they're doing is wrong. And then under Section 47, the freedom of assembly. If they want to tell the government that what the government is doing is wrong, they have a right to assemble, and then they can protest to the government and tell the government that what they're doing is wrong. And that power emanates from Section 47 of the Papua New Guinea Constitution. Then they have a right under Section 49, which provides them the right of privacy. And so you just can't go into somebody's house and say, I'm the controller of the disaster, or I'm the controller of emergency or whatever, and just go and enter somebody's premises just like that. No, you have to get a permission. You have to get a search warrant, all of those things. And before you enter any premises of any person. And the right of privacy extends to the right of every citizen of this country to give permission to, if they want to be given medicine, if they are sick, they want to be given medicine, then the sick person has to give them the permission to give them the medicine. You cannot arbitrarily, just because the law says that you have to get the vaccine, you just give the medicine to somebody against his will, right? Or even vaccination against his will. The right of privacy under Section 49 of the PNG Constitution bars those kind of actions. That is why this law, the Pandemic Act, contravenes Section 49 of the Papua New Guinea Constitution, which provides the right of privacy. And then, as I said again, the people want to protest. All of those are provided under Section 46 and 47 of the PNG Constitution. But under this particular law, Peace and Good Order Act, it gives it full powers, unquestionable powers, to the commander of the police of every provinces or metropolitan commander of the cities to stop. And I can tell you, the commander can go ahead and say protest is illegal and do all those things, but I can tell him that those two laws are contrary to the supreme law, which is the Papua New Guinea Constitution. And those laws must be challenged in the Supreme Court. Under Section 19 of the Papua New Guinea Constitution, they must be challenged. The validity of the law, constitutionality of the law of Peace and Good Order Act of 91 and Pandemic Act of 2020, they must be challenged in the Supreme Court. And I call upon the people who have a standing, or the institute who have a standing under Section 19 to challenge this law, take the matter to the Supreme Court and get the Supreme Court to rule that these particular laws are illegal and unconstitutional. And I call on the Ombudsman Commission of Papua New Guinea, which stands for as a watchdog of all the government institutions in this country. Ombudsman Commission should take the matter to the Supreme Court. And I also call on the public solicitor, legal office which stands to defend the public in this country, to defend the interests of the public by taking the matter to the Supreme Court under Section 19 of the 19.3 of the PNG Constitution. They have a standing. Then I call on the Marape provincial government. I call on them. They also have a standing under Section 19 to take this matter to the Supreme Court, or any other provincial government. They also have a standing under Section 19 to take the matter to the Supreme Court. So I call on those institutions to take the matter to the Supreme Court, because I can describe it at the end. I can describe that these laws are the draconian laws, because if we don't, they could come up with all other draconian laws like that. And this is not good for this country. This is a democratic country. And he's also a member of the United Nations. And the United Nations universal right also talk about freedom of expression, and it also talks about the freedom of assembly, and the right of privacy. These are rights declared by the United Nations, and that right is there to protect every citizen or every human being on the planet Earth. As a senior statesman, I come to tell the Papua New Guineans we must take action now, and we must take action now. As an individual now, I have gone to see the public solicitors of public solicitor's office in Ley, and for them to liaise with the public solicitor of Papua New Guinea, and help us to take the matter to the Supreme Court under Section 19(3) of the PNG Constitution. And I also see in the Office of the Ombudsman Commission to, in partnership, take the matter to the Supreme Court. And I hope that they're going to take this matter, and I will help them by researching the law and writing opinion, which might assist them to take the matter to the Supreme Court.